Oh, hello and welcome to week 11 of the Orion Bowl. This is the Orion Bowl Fantasy NFL show. I'm Commissioner Burt Green. This is mostly for the guys in the league, but if you're not in the league for whatever reason you're watching this, welcome. If you want to see some good fantasy advice, watch any other team except for the Baltimore Ravens, generally speaking, and the Legion of Hot Toilet, obviously. I'll be honest, even though they won pretty well last week, the team with no Shamuth are also one to, if you want to look at what not to do, check out those lineups. If you want to look at some of the worst luck the league has ever seen, check out the Arizona Tits, frankly. But yeah, so anyway, this is all about fantasy NFL. It's a lot of fun. So let's just dive right in. I'm going to have a look at what I like to do is this Orion Bowl Ultimate Team. So I'm going to take the best positions from, the best players from each position from week 10, because week 10 was last week. Stands to reason, doesn't it? Quarterback of the week obviously has to go to Dak Prescott. I don't know why Baby dropped Dak. We had a team, Baby got Dak. He dropped Dak, so now I changed his name to Baby dropped Dak because that's how clever I am. And look, Baby got Dak, dropped Dak. But now he's doing bits for the Tits. The Arizona Tits getting a much needed win, largely due to that 37.86. That's a tremendous score. Running back one has to go to Jamar Gibbs, 23-20. Even with Monty back, he still did absolute numbers, taking the coach's son to a 149-point win over Baby Drop Dak. That's a great win there. Running back two has to go to Brian Robinson, the other B Robinson in the league, 21.7. The team with no Shamuth, taking them to a huge win over the Legion of Hot Toilet. Keenan Allen was also wide receiver one, and he was also on the team with no Shamuth, so you can see why they got the win last week. They put up a really solid score. Can't remember what it was, but I remember thinking, pretty good. Then you've got wide receiver 2, CD Lamb, really sticking the knife into the old Baltimore Ravens, taking the team with no Namath to another fluke victory. Look, frankly, you're getting 28.5 from your wide receiver and you still don't hit 100 points. That is a loss. That's a big old loss for the team with no Namath. Like, what a trash team. What a trash team. So they had the tight end as well. So tight end was Hawkinson, 1940. How do you have CD Lamb at 28.5 and Hawkinson at 1940 and still not hit 100 points? That's pretty pathetic when you think about it. You know what I mean? Terrible. Wouldn't want to be on that team. The kicker, old D-Hop, getting it done for the coach's sons. The coach's sons have this knack for picking up the best kickers. I don't know how they do it. I went with Tucker this. I drafted a kicker. There's only one kicker you should be drafting. His name is Justin Tucker. He hasn't done brilliantly this season. Dan always used to have him, and he used to do really, really well. The coach, it's annoying at this point. Defense, Sweet D of the week, again, goes to the Indianapolis Colts, getting 16 points. Look, they're on the team with no Shamuth. Like, the team with no B team have the best D in the league, and they are the Colts. Who would have thought that? Who would have thunk it? Anyway, the Ultimate Team, Week 10 score, 189.16. I believe that is the best score we've seen, but it's all irrelevant because it just doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. It's a great metaphor for life. Completely meaningless. Anyway, we'll look forward to week 11 because obviously we're looking at the league standings. We're getting to the point now where the Baltimore Ravens, can we make the playoffs on merit? No, not at this point. But could we make them by sheer fluke if other teams were to lose and I was to win? Sure, that could still happen. But we are now at the point in the season where I have just picked up Nick Chubb to keep on my bench as a keeper for next season because, let's face it, the best thing about NFL fantasy is that when your team starts to drift into the annals of irrelevance, you get to at least look forward to next season. Because next season, that's when I'm going to get it done. Keeping Jonathan Taylor and Nick Chubb, that's already sign me up for the win in the 2024 season. That's all I'm saying. But let's get week 11 of the 2023 season. So we've got the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Legion of Hot Toilets. Now, already played a couple of players and we're 16 apiece after Thursday night. which means that Thursday night game was pointless, and that's a real reflection on the Thursday night primetime games this season. Frankly, they've not been the best, and largely don't make a lick of difference to the fantasy scores. As you see here, we're deadlocked. I mean, yeah, so I'll go further into it. You've got Josh Allen this week taking on the Jets. I don't like that matchup. The Jets have been very good at taking the ball away. Tua is being played on the other side. Look, Tua takes that. Tua's going to outscore Josh Allen this week. You can take that to the bank. Travis Etienne running against Tennessee. Mixon has already... tell you what, the first half, I thought Mixon was looking like he was going to get 30. So for him to be held to 16, I'll take that. Does Etienne match that? No, not on current form. Not on the form he was in last week anyway. Etienne doesn't match that. So that's another win for the Legion of Hot Toilet. Rashad White taking on Aaron Jones. The Green Bay run game is pathetic. So I think White should beat that, but I'm not confident. Adam Thielen against the Dallas Cowboys versus Cooper Kupp, who's taking on Seattle. Look, Cooper Kupp is obviously going to outscore Thielen in that one. Garrett Wilson, who might not even play, against Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been stunning this season. Obviously, he's going to outscore Wilson. That's just a given. Laporta against Schultz. This is one of the few matchups that I thought I had a chance with, but then I looked at the tight end. Schultz, he's on the team that are throwing the ball better than any team in the league right now, the Houston Texans. So you've got to go with Schultz. Chandler, I picked up Ty Chandler because I traded away my replacement for my bye-week hell this week. So Ayuk is no longer on my team. I traded him away for the number one defense in the league, who only put up 6 points, which is annoying. That is annoying. But anyway, Chandler. So I picked up Ty Chandler, who's this new... It shows how much faith they've got in Mattison. What's it? Darrell... Oh, I forget what his name is. They know the other guy from LA they got in for Minnesota to go alongside Mattison. He got injured, and then they still wouldn't put Mattison in. They picked up this new young guy, Chandler, who actually looked pretty good. So you know what? I put him in there. Is he going to outscore David Montgomery? No, he isn't. Not a chance. Not a chance in hell. Tucker only put up 10. Joseph, the kicker for Minnesota, probably going to match that at least. The Ravens put up a disappointing 6. Lions D against Chicago are going to do better than that. That is a clean sweep for the Legion of Hot Toilet. This is over. This game is done. No chance in hell. The Baltimore Ravens are done. They are finished. That's it. Once I lose this game, that's it. We're finished for the season. Time to start building for next year. Try and finish mid-table if I can, so that I get that mid-draft position, because I do believe it's a better position to draft in. And then all I can do is just be positive and just focus on not making the playoffs, but at least maybe ruining someone's week on week, playing for pride. Because it is. You got to make the most of the cards that you're holding. And currently, my team's cards are not the best. But the Legion of Hot Toilet, they deserve a win, honestly. I don't understand how their record is this bad with a team that they've got that's this good. Yeah, but they're going to get a win this week. Absolutely, 100%. Then we move on to the Down the Stray Gorillas taking on the team with no Namath, who have already put up a relatively decent score. We've got Pat Mahomes taking on Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's already put up 23 points. Pat Mahomes probably doesn't beat that. Tony Pollard against Josh Jacobs. You've got to think that Pollard is good in that one. Pacheco, terrible against Breece Hall. Good. Breece Hall wins that one. Collins versus Brown. Brown's going back off the week off, but Collins, look, he's on a team that are just moving the ball so well. Tank Dell as well. I'm taking both, but CD Lamb and AJ Brown, you've got to go with Brown and Lamb. They're just two elite players. Ingram versus Hockenson every day. Flowers only put up 5 against Rice. Rice is probably going to put up more than 5. Aubrey versus Elliott. Probably going to go with Aubrey in that one. The Steelers D versus Jags D. The Steelers against Cleveland. Jags against Tennessee. Jags D should do better in that one. I think overall, on balance, you have to go with the team with no Namath to get yet another fluke win over a better team. But the team with no Namath will find a way to win, because they always do, because they're trash. They're trash, but They're winning trash. You trash. You're trash, but you're winning trash. You know? God, it's a sad state of affairs. Then you move on to the coach's sons versus the team with no name, B team. The team with no Seamus. Herbert versus Burrow. Burrow only put up 8 points, so I'll lean towards Herbert in that one. McCaffrey versus Eckler. McCaffrey all day. Gibbs versus Robinson. Gibbs all day. Chase versus Allen. Allen's questionable. Look, Allen should put up more points than 720. I'm going to go with Allen in that one. Waddle versus Metcalf. I quite like Metcalf, so I'm going to go Metcalf in that one. Kincaid versus Kelsey. Kelsey, you've got to go with the proven commodity. It's got to be Kelsey. McLaurin versus Cook. Interesting. I'm going to go McLaurin there. I think he's got the better matchup against the New York Giants, honestly. Hopkins versus Patterson, no contest. The coach's sons always have the best kicker in the league. This year is no exception. Hopkins is going to put up at least 14 points. Then you've got the 49ers D against Tampa Bay versus the Commanders D against Giants. The Commanders have the better matchup. I'm going to go Commanders there. But on balance, I do think that the coach's son's quality is going to shine through. See what I did there? Because the Suns and the shine, it's that little wordplay there for forget you, pal. Thanks for nothing. Sorry. Coach's sons. The coach's sons. They're going to win this. They're definitely going to be in the playoffs. The playoffs are more or less set at this point. Unless some people start losing a lot of games. The Forbesy Niners versus the Arizona Tits. Now, Lady Luck has shined down on the Arizona Tits already because Andrews left the game in the first quarter and obviously didn't put up very many points as a result. So I'm sorry. If it looks like I'm laughing, it's because I find it pretty funny. Welcome to American fantasy football. It's all about your good players just getting injured time and time again. It's all about making the correct statistical decisions and then watching them blow up in your face. And this is what makes it interesting. It's what keeps you coming back for more, because we're all gluttons for punishment at the end of the day. So you've got Jalen Hurts taking on Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's in form. You've got to go with Dak Prescott. Derrick Henry versus Singletary. Henry every time. Najee Harris versus Ford. Ford every time. Moore versus Diggs. Diggs every time. Samuel versus Mayers. Samuel every time. Kmet versus Andrews. Kmet is definitely doing better than 230. Addison versus Cooks. Addison every time. Bass over Butker. Chargers over the Bills D because Green Bay haven't been brilliant. I am going with the Forbesy Niners to keep pushing up the league. I think the Forbesy Niners finish top this year. I think they finish at the tippy top. They're going to take the belt. They're going to take the regular season belt. Then they're going to take the whole thing. They're going to have a belt and a ring by the end of the season, and much deserved as well, because they've had some rotten luck the past couple of years. They've really, they've had a couple of seasons that the Jets would find like appalling. Do you know what I mean? And the Jets are bad. just to put that into context. But yeah, it's nice to see them change their franchise name, bring it around, and they're going all the way in my humble opinion. Then you've got San Diego Harlots against Baby dropped Dak. You've got Dobbs versus Stroud. I like Dobbs. He's against Denver. Dobbs in that one. Actually, no, Stroud's been against Arizona. You've got to go Stroud. Stroud's been better, so Stroud. Connor versus Foreman. Connor, probably. I don't know. That's a tough one. Barkley versus Warren. Barkley's just been scripted out of a lot of games. The problem with Barkley is that he's a great running back on a poor team. So they play from behind an awful lot, which means that he gets scripted out of the games because when you're playing from behind, you have to throw the ball. And the Giants are not good at throwing the ball. They're not good at running the ball, frankly. Tyreek Hill versus Hopkins. You've got to go with Tyreek Hill there. Brandon Ayuk versus Kirk. You've got to go with Brandon Ayuk there. I don't know why I traded him away. That was silly. McBride versus Kittle. You've got to probably go with Kittle there. Walker versus Mostart. Walker's running against LA. Mostart. It depends when A-Train's back. Mostart's probably going to get the better of that one. McManus versus Moody. McManus? Who the hell's he? Who does he play for? What's that? McManus? Is he? I thought he owned a chain of pubs. I can't believe that he can run a pretty successful chain of sports bars in the UK and also has time to be the kicker for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The guy can do it all, frankly. That's why I'm going to pick him. Then you've got the Cowboys D versus Browns D. Oh, they're both good Ds. Both good, strong Ds. Some nice, strong, hard Ds going to war right there. Gonna say that the Cowboys D probably has a slightly better matchup. So Cowboys D, and overall, on balance, you've got to, I don't know, it's, yeah, I think, on balance, I'm going to go with the San Diego Harlots to get the win. He's going to hate that I've picked him to win because my picks are terrible, and that usually means that you're going to lose. But irrelevant, erroneous, whatever happens, until next week, if I've picked you to win, then prove me right. If I've picked you to lose, prove me wrong. See you next time.